an undisclosed location high in the Hollywood Hills, it's time once again for the long shot. Come hell or high water. Tonight's episode, the mysterious case of the fictional Dolly guy. And now, please welcome the host of the long shot, Conroy. All right. Well, thank you so much. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, good day, good noon, good dawn, good dusk, good desk. Good evening. Welcome to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. I'm your host. My name is Sean Conroy. With me today on the show, Amber Kenny is here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year is true.
Happy New Year.
And
we didn't say year
New
yet.
Year.
And of course, Joe Wagner also here. Go ahead, Joe.
And now I'm speaking. Now I'm speaking according to podcast protocol. Now that I've been introduced, Sean, I
didn't know who you were when you spoke before. Everybody was like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Is this his first time? Mm-hmm. Listen, I want to say, first off, Happy New Year and good feelings to all of you guys. I just want to say I admired the gusto, Sean, that you had with the intro today. Considering everything we're living through. And when you speak fast, I almost heard your name as Sean Connery instead of Sean Conroy.
Right.
And literally 3 days ago, I was looking up Sean Connery, but Google brought up Sean Conroy first, and I hit it without looking because I was going to look at pictures of Sean Connery. So I went to Google. No? I went to Google Images, and I'm expecting to see Sean Connery, and then Sean's face pops up. All these pictures of Sean, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to see him Saturday."
It was like a weird connected circle in some ways.
It felt good. It felt good to see you. You look great. You look great.
Thank you. I used to talk about that in my act about how Sean Connery was using my name to get traffic on his website. When I was in elementary school, my principal used to call me James Bond.
Cute.
Oh, that's cool.
And he would summon me to the office like that, like over the loudspeaker. And then I had a.
What were you being sent to the office about all the time?
He was fighting Russian spies, having sex with
being shaken, women. Not stirred.
He was drinking martinis in study hall.
I was calling all my teachers pussy galore.
Wouldn't fly today.
No, and I also I had a problem with that name when I was a kid because I was like, this is weird that my name is so close to this other guy's name. And so at one point I said to my mother, I was like, why did you name me something so close to somebody who, is a movie star? Because it's confusing. I mean, there was specifically a salad place I used to call in New York City. Oh, look, it's Jamie Flam, just on time.
Hey, the Flamster.
About my name, and I would call this salad place.
Sean was yelling at his mom.
Yeah, they would be like, they would be like, "Who is this?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, can you deliver? My name is Sean Conroy." And they'd be like, "Who?" And they clearly had it in their data bank as Sean Connery, so they would just start giggling and call other people over to the phone to hear me say it. But when I asked my mother, I said, "Why did you do that?"
Slow day.
I know.
She said,
"Not that funny."
It's not that funny. She said we didn't think he would get that famous. It turns out when I was born, he was doing his 6th James Bond movie. So point being, he was already fairly renowned as the most famous movie star in the world.
You didn't know you didn't know your mom's standard was like you gotta hit 7 or 8.
Right.
You gotta hit 7 or 8 Bonds before you're famous.
Well, her second son, Vin Diesel, turns out that
he was really pathetic.
Jamie Flam is here. Welcome to the show, Jamie. Nice of you to show. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Jamie, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Jamie.
Happy New Year. Happy fucking New Year.
Happy fucking New Year. Well, we always start the show with a segment that we like to call checking in. So why don't we start today with the one person that I think has potential to tell us something interesting. Amber Kenny, what's going on?
That's smart.
Let's get the interesting out of the way quick and people can turn off the show.
I moved.
Wow.
We
moved. Wow. Just you know what? At this point, I'm just saying, Sean, make sure to put that in your review of the show when you rate and review. Everyone rate and review.
Just click as soon as Amber's
what you want to express.
All right. So how did that go?
It was a lot. I mean, we moved to next door. We moved one building down, but and we lived in a very small apartment with relatively small amount of things compared to some
the space
people.
You have now.
Right. So in my head, it was like, it won't be that bad. But it was just the two of us. We didn't hire anyone or have any help because COVID is happening. Right. And we are both exhausted. Like every muscle is sore. But we did it. What a sense of accomplishment. And I love this new place. I feel like a freaking Rockefeller because Jeff is home. I don't hear him. I don't see him. Like, what?
There's plenty of space.
Amber, I watched the show last week, and there's a moment where I think Jeff walked in front of whatever was your light source hitting you. Yeah. And there's this ghostly shadow that went over Amber slowly through the frame. And I loved watching it, but now you don't have to worry about any.
I don't. It's incredibly surreal.
Ghostly shadows.
We slept in this new place for the first time. Oh my God. Language is going to be difficult occasionally.
Well, it's confusing because now you're sort of living in the past and the future at the same time.
But we slept here in our new place for the first time last night, and we both woke up at like 5:30. It was still dark out, and we're kind of like, "Where are we?" And we went into the living room and watched like Night Court. So
I thought you were going to say we watched the sunrise, but no, you chose Night Court. Yeah.
Everything to watch.
Well, the internet wasn't working, so it was what was on TV at the time. But
great show, very funny show.
Meet me in the living room at 5:30 a.m. and let's watch Night Court.
and like
we all have our kinks.
Bull kills me every time.
Fucking morning court, right, guys? Fucking not.
Hey, actually, I heard. Actually,
Joe,
I read that they're going
to. By the way, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Am I glitching? I'm sorry. I tried to restart my computer. Am I better now? Can you hear me?
Much better.
Just say the thing.
All right. It's just because my computer was acting up just before I got on, so I tried to restart. Anyway, I read that they're thinking about rebooting Night Court with John Larroquette's character, like him as the lead now, like 30 years later. A lot of nostalgia going on.
Oh yeah. I think
the best parts of television are when they regurgitate old ideas, you know. That always makes for good stuff.
Yes.
So Amber, did you guys just walk back and forth with stuff? Basically?
Yeah, we Jeff went to go rent like a small dolly, and when he got there, there wasn't any available for rental at the moment, but you can buy one for $10 more. So now we're the proud owner of a dolly.
You're now the dolly guy.
Yeah, I'm the dolly guy. Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, I apologize for the just obvious miscommunication. So Amber checked in with me last week, like, so can we use your your Dolly. I was like, oh, I don't know if I have one. It's like you said, well, you offered that a doll. What did I say?
Okay, so what happened? It's on this podcast. Listeners can go back and
It's verifiable.
right. I said I was moving. I said we're not going to rent a van, but we're probably going to rent a Dolly. And Jamie's response was, "I know a Dolly guy." And I said, "Great, I'll probably take you up on that." So I thought that meant he had a Dolly.
No. I know a guy who has a Dolly. That doesn't mean you can use it. It doesn't mean I'm going to give you his contact info. It doesn't mean anything to you.
And it doesn't even mean that I have a Dolly guy.
So last Saturday, after we recorded the podcast, Jeff and I went to Dynasty Typewriter for his Christmas.
Oh, right. Yeah.
California split. And it was amazing. It was wonderful. I know, Sean, you're going to grit your teeth, but it was enchanting. Jamie is great at creating an enchanting environment. It felt just...
You brought blankets?
We brought blankets. We had blankets. And it felt...
Warm socks? Did you have warm socks?
Yes.
Beanies?
No beanies. But I mean, it felt really surreal to be inside anywhere that isn't our house, and then to be watching a movie really big, and it was a beautiful theater that it's just the two of us. It was great. I recommend it. It's a good gift. It's a good fun outing for yourself. Do it. I'm plugging Dynasty Typewriter on behalf of Jamie. But
were there other people in the theater?
Jamie was in the booth.
Uh-huh.
So it was like a private.
That's
screening.
Creepy. That's creepy.
It is a little creepy. I felt like I made sure I didn't have. You were not in my view. I was like in the chair.
Well, we weren't like boning.
True. I didn't want that to not be
just up in the booth.
Were you well,
good movie, right, guys?
Jamie.
Pretty good.
Jamie, were you watching the movie or were you watching them? That's what I think the difference would be. Were you watching the movie?
I was trying to watch the movie while, scrolling through my new addiction, which is OfferUp, which is an app where you can look at used furniture that I never buy.
Wow. No, he
sounds healthy.
It was one of my favorite parts of the night is afterwards, Jamie was like, I have some questions. And I thought it was going to be about life or about, I don't know. And then he just proceeded to have like 4 or 5 questions about the plot of the movie we just watched.
Because I couldn't quite hear it. The monitors weren't set up.
Because you were scrolling through your fucking new addiction.
No, I was paying enough attention to the movie, but there were some major plot points that just, they did a really good job of wrapping it all up.
I have some questions. Why was the armoire only $11?
Right. There's got to be something we're not seeing here. Only one picture that's suspect.
But while we were there, I meant to ask like, oh, and what's up with that Dolly? We'll need it this week, but I forgot. We were so enchanted by the movie and the area. So the next day, I was
You're just lucky you have a theater guy.
I know.
You have a theater guy.
I texted him and I was like, thanks again for the movie night. It was wonderful. It was good to see you. And I meant to bring it up. How can we pick up this Dolly? And his response, it was so funny. He was just like, did you see a Dolly there? Because I don't think
he had no idea what you were talking about.
I know.
And you were
Dolly
referring to something that he brought up at some point.
But then he was like, maybe I could find someone. And I was like, no, like I'll rent a Dolly. Like we don't need to make this any more complicated. I just thought you had one.
It would make sense.
So for the record, Jamie, the Dolly guy never existed?
Never existed. It was a fictional Dolly guy that I...
So that's not even a real person in your head. Like right now, when you say Dolly guy, you don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that actually could help with my improv skills if I actually pictured something. Note to self. Oh, I'm picturing a really funny Dolly guy now.
I'm seriously, I'm curious, like what was going through your mind when you said that?
I don't know.
Is it like in your head? It was a funny bit to be bragging that you knew someone who had a Dolly.
I think that,
or that there was
sounds
such a person as the Dolly guy. Like,
I think these are both. Yeah,
you had just helped
The
someone
Dalai
move.
Lama?
In in that same combo, you had just helped someone move. So it was reasonable in my head that you had a Dolly or actually.
and I think it's actually reasonable for anyone to have a Dolly guy or gal.
Well, now you got one, Bubba.
I know you're not my Dolly guy.
Not in a, but Jamie, not an imaginary Dolly guy. That's like an imaginary friend. You know, like it's like it doesn't. You just made him up, right? I mean.
Yeah.
By the way, Amber, when Jamie said that he had questions for you afterwards, I thought it was going to be like a survey, like a customer survey, like how was the service? Was the popcorn fresh? The screening, the light bulb of the screen. What was the screen like?
It was great. It was
surround sound, IMAX.
It sounded good to me. I don't I don't know.
That's the only person they cared about, right? And Jeff, the two of you? There was nobody else there. One of the difficulties I always find with Jamie is when he says he can help you with something, you can never tell if it's real or if he's just doing a bit. Like he just made that person.
There,
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know a psychiatrist you could talk to. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Can I get that number? Oh, no. I was kidding about that.
It's a bit.
And then when you ask him about it, Jamie's like, you're imagining things. You should really go see a psychiatrist.
I don't have a psychiatrist.
I don't know of any, but
You seem crazy to me.
That's such a nice thing to say to them.
Yeah.
But so we bought a Dolly, all that said, and it's just like a little red Dolly, and we were gonna still have to go rent like a furniture Dolly, like a one with 4 wheels, for our bed and the couches, and our upstairs neighbor. He's been our neighbor for quite some time, but now he's our upstairs neighbor, Manuel. He's an angel from heaven. He came down and he's like, I've got some Dollies if you need them. And he had like a...
Manuel, please, are you doing a bit or is that for real?
Because some Dollies means like he's the
ultimate Dolly guy.
Heard that before.
Jamie, you've created a chain reaction of trust issues.
But he had like a more heavy duty version of the one that we have that also converts to 4 wheels. And then like the one that it's just like 2 pieces of wood and 4 wheels. It's very low to the ground. Anyway, we had to do a lot of...
Here on the long shot, we go deep into Dolly Arcana.
Amber, do you think you could do like a Dolly shot in a Liquid Feet video with it? Maybe. I mean,
maybe
that's all you need.
That's true. Yeah, that would be fun.
So he had all the Dollies you could possibly want.
Yeah, it was great, and we didn't have to worry about like, oh, we have to be done by this time to return it, or it cost like we just. It was definitely a godsend because we were going back and forth so often, a comical amount of time. We were. Amber,
you and Jeff would just walk by each other.
Yes, but we were so yesterday by noon, we were pretty much moved in, and then we spent the afternoon deep cleaning the old place and like the last little stuff. But we were just dead tired, so tired. I can't even.
Is there anything that you were like, you got to the point where you're all your stuff is out of the old place, everything's in the new place, your upstairs neighbor has his Dollies back, which by the way makes me wonder, how does he move those when he moves to a new place? But wow. You're in the old place and you're like, I'm not sure what to do with this thing. You have like one thing left and you're like, fuck it, I'm throwing it in the garbage. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's always that moment, right?
Totally. And
what was it? Do you remember?
The family Bible, unfortunately.
It was $1 million.
I'm not
just
sure
a-
where we're gonna put this in the new. Fuck it, throw it away.
Well,
Just,
and
just a medal of honor from my great uncle. You know, nothing much.
we tried to do as much of the like little tiny stuff first, because I find that mind numbing, especially when you're exhausted after moving furniture. Like that way, once you move the big stuff, like you're done, baby. But there's always like, because we were also doing, it was a tricky logical problem where we picked up the keys Tuesday night. So we started moving things in on Wednesday and on Thursday, and then did everything that was left Friday morning. But because we didn't have internet at the new place until yesterday,
Saturday, Friday.
So we were
Friday.
We were like moving stuff, but then we'd have to do the like, oh wait, do we actually need this for tonight? Like,
You were living in two places at the same time.
right. And it was New Year's Eve one of the times. So we're like, oh, we need a bottle opener because we're gonna pop the champagne, which we don't need a bottle opener for in hindsight.
Right.
But like stuff like that where we would have moved all of the little stuff, but we wanted some of the little stuff.
Yeah, you were having to keep track of stuff at the
Yes.
same time.
Exactly.
Which during moving, you're just like, that's not a normal part of moving.
Right.
Right.
And and it's so much bigger. It's not big. Like it's not like, anyway, we keep laughing that we like have to like get our strength to walk to the kitchen. We're used to being 4 feet within everything at all times. And like, I have no idea what Jeff's up to right now. It's insane.
Do you feel smaller?
I have to use the restroom. What time does the trolley come around?
Right. I need to bring snacks.
Yeah.
Amber,
right now,
do you feel smaller?
yeah, I feel like I'm on vacation. I feel like this is like an Airbnb. Like, you know how when you're at home, you have like a certain level of just like letting it all go and being home.
Oh, it's a fucking disaster. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean like
Oh, sorry, I
comfortable.
misunderstood. Yeah.
But like, and so when you're on, and maybe this is a me thing. Maybe I should use I statements and not include you guys in this because you might not have this experience. But when I'm on vacation or I'm staying at someone else's house, even if I am physically as comfortable as I can be, there's a certain amount of awareness that this is someone else's space, and I need to like be aware of that, or like not completely be as disgusting as I normally am, or like let my freak flag fly.
Mhm.
So I still feel like a guest. It's day one. I'm sure
Right.
we'll get there.
That will eventually go away.
But like right now, our living room window, it's vertical blinds right now. It won't be forever. Please, everyone relax. But right now it's vertical blinds, and there's a garden. I see greenery. It's beautiful. I feel like I'm on vacation. It's great.
Nice. I would like it if you kept using I statements, but structured it the same way you did when you were
Okay.
using you statements. So you were like, I know how I come home and I.
You know what? You're that much more confident and self-assertive, Amber, in a new place, new year. You were making me think about, I think, how it's always very memorable the first night you stay in a new place.
Totally.
You know? When I moved to downtown, the first night before I had any internet or anything, I was like, it's so comforting that you guys watched Night Court at 5:30 a.m. because it's just something to take you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember on the first night in this downtown, in this loft, the windows are so big and they were open, and I felt like, and I was in the dark, and I felt like I could hear every sound of the city,
Right.
and it was it was starting
downtown.
to, it was starting to freak me out. Like I was like, oh, this is all so foreign and strange sounding, and it felt like the director of life had like turn up the sound effects. I tried to calm myself by thinking that I was like Batman, that I had moved to Gotham. That's actually how
TikTok, get to work.
Stop that crime.
Well, that's Batman is known for his calm and reasoned perspective. He's
I was trying to
chilled out all the time.
I was trying to toughen myself up to it, like that's just Gotham. That's the city,
Uh-huh.
Well, I actually feel like I moved to the country because I'm on the same street, but our bedroom was on the corner of two fairly busy streets.
At street level.
At street level. I'm still street level, but we're one building away from that main street. I'm not going to say them because I don't want people to know my addresses. And this building is set farther away from the sidewalk, hence the garden out front. And our bedroom is at the back of the building rather than the front. So all of that combined, like last night, it was like, I kept saying, I wonder if anyone's running that stoplight. Like I'm used to seeing like car accidents.
Right.
You're happy now to be living at 434 Davis Boulevard, apartment X.
Yes.
We're going to have to change the opening to all disclosed locations.
I had a question and then it just... It was about your apartment
and your location. And
what did you just do to your mic, Jamie? It just sounded way better for a second.
I slapped it by accident.
It sounds so good.
It's like better?
Yeah, way better.
Something you did. You must have turned it on or something.
That's the best example of sometimes, me forgetting what I was going to say actually turned out to be a blessing.
Okay.
But we have a ton of work to do. We still have to figure out where we want to store things and a lot of work to decorate. But the silver lining blessing of the lockdown is we have time. Like we're not going to be expecting guests anytime soon. And it's a project. It's an ongoing thing that will keep us busy while we're in lockdown.
And I don't want to cause trouble because that's not what I do. But what's the latest with your plan on getting a dog?
Oh, we're gonna move in a little bit more, and then we'll work on that. But no troubles caused.
No, that's what I said. I don't want to cause trouble.
I know, and you haven't.
Good. It worked out.
We might be getting a washer and dryer before we get a dog. With that sweet, sweet, sweet stimulus money. Don't get me started.
From a shelter, Amber? From a
the washer and
dryer shelter?
Yeah.
You're going to rescue some?
You might want to try OfferUp. Seriously.
Yeah, that's Jamie's new addiction, OfferUp.
I know a washer and dryer guy.
Congratulations, Amber. Congratulations to you and Jeff on the new play. There aren't that many greater ways to feel renewal and that sense of a new beginning than a new place.
And we did it on January 1st.
I know. That's so cool.
So on the nose.
That's what I was going to ask. Since we started this podcast, how many places have you lived?
I've lived 1, 2, 3. I think this is the 5th place.
That's impressive.
How many have you lived in, Jamie?
I think 2.
Yeah. Wow. Sean, I counted up once.
I've been in the same place the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I'm at 11.
Is that true?
Since we started this podcast?
In 10 years, no.
Oh, since the podcast? No. In 10 years? I think 4 in 10 years of those 11.
Well, that's what's crazy that I'm at 5 because the last place we lived there 5.5 years. Like it wasn't in and out. So
when I moved to LA, I was so naive. I thought that when you signed a 1-year lease,
you had to move.
Then you had to move.
That's so cute.
It took me a couple years when somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I renewed my lease." Well, I always thought it was cool. Like, oh, find a new place. I loved looking for apartments in LA. Like, and it was like still at the beginning, internet had just started, but you still had to buy like the recycler, and I would like go see like 7-8 places in a weekend.
My mom loves
one of those
looking for apartments.
Classifieds.
My mom should have been a real estate agent. Like, this is her favorite thing. And so she's beside herself that she's in Mexico and she can't be here and looking at the new place. And it's really cute.
Giving advice on how to set it up.
So when we first got the keys, I FaceTimed with her and gave her a tour of the place.
Nice.
Well, that's great. Congratulations on the new place. May it be happy and productive and wonderful.
Thank you.
Jamie.
Yep.
Checking in. What's going on? Why were you late today? What happened?
Fuck.
Was it the Dolly guy?
Yeah, he was he's been stalking me.
He never showed up.
Yeah, I was outside waiting for him all day, and I was actually doing dishes when the podcast started. And I must have been doing it for much longer than I anticipated, because when I started them, there was plenty of time until podcast time.
Dishes take longer than you think, in my experience.
They can, yeah. I like to get them really clean,
Mm-hmm.
I always set an alarm when I'm doing the dishes, just so I don't get stuck doing them so long.
Yeah.
The alarm went off. I need to stop now. That's it.
Anyways, too bad I only did one. I want to send a shout out to Aaron, our producer, who sends us the email. And however it works, I'm so computer illiterate, but I'm online all day. I hear the chime. There's like a chime when it's like 10 minutes before the meeting. So like Jamie, that's when I
it's
know.
It's a Google Calendar.
That's when I know. Here we go.
Shout out to our producer.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
He added
I'm just
an alarm
saying,
to my
crazy, man.
I'm not saying I'm not blown away by that. I'm appreciative of it, because Jamie, it is like an alarm for the show. Like, I'm not used to chimes. I don't have any notifications on my phone. So
this is, by the way, how I remember. This is how I remember to do dishes. Is I set a Google Calendar reminder when the chime goes off. It tells me to do dishes, but then I have to set an alarm to go off to keep me from continuing to do the dishes endlessly. Yeah,
there's like 72 alarms going off in Sean's apartment every day.
And you're like, should I be starting or stopping dishes at this?
Time for night court.
5:30.
Yeah,
5:30 a.m.
Time to watch the night court. Jamie, what's going on? Checking in. What's happening?
No,
I don't. That's why I asked.
The truth is, like, all day today, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do the podcast, and because I have nothing to say, and I'm so in it, and it felt like
Jamie, that's okay.
Things.
That's okay.
And so the truth is, why not be honest? But I was like, opened up a browser or an email to all of you guys saying, I don't think I'm gonna make it, and then I closed it, and then I didn't do it, and then I finished the dishes. I didn't know it was gonna be the time, but I saw the text from Sean. I was like, why? I don't know. Like, I have to remind myself. I probably talked about this. Like, if I go a full day without talking to anybody, did I talk about this last week? Probably. If I go until I talk to anyone, until I like engage with a human being, whether it's the phone, a Zoom, or anything, it's just my brain.
That makes total sense. I think that's very common.
I force myself to take a walk,
especially right now, Jamie. Especially right now, it's totally natural. It's happening.
So you're saying if you don't speak to other people, you are alone with your thoughts?
Yes, turns out. But
it makes it hard. You have to get ready to talk to people, Jamie, right? You feel like you have to kind of get there.
Yeah, but the truth is I really
don't. Leading the witness. Go ahead, Jamie.
I know I've mentioned this analogy, but like I really feel like I'm living the movie Memento, where I'm like, I have notes everywhere reminding me of how to be that I cannot seem to remember, of like literally notes from yesterday, like tomorrow, wake up And instead of trying to plan out your entire life and like just pick one of the things you want to do and do that thing, and that will take you to where you need to go.
That was your reminder note?
Yes.
In depth.
Do you know that you can put those in Google Calendar and then it will just chime when you?
I do know that. I've set up many automated things with every program ever possible to tell me all these things. Anyway, it's been another crazy week. There's something I didn't allude to last week, or I guess I did allude to, or Amber alluded to.
Sorry.
But whatever that was became more finalized.
What are you talking about?
This is a relationship situation. I've been in a relationship. It's something I don't want to get too deep into, but it's been
get shallow
and off and off and on and off, and now it's off again. And it's been like a long time coming to that, and it's not an easy one. So that's been like a huge thing. And
it's not easy at any time, especially during a pandemic.
Right.
No, it's really tough. And so that's been like it's been a significant thing that I'm realizing, like, it's kind of coming on the other side of like, oh my God, I knew this was panic attacks. I knew this was deep, dark stuff, but like, oh my God, the last at least 3 months, I've been waging a battle that's been more intense than I even realized. Like, even knowing while I'm in it, like, and of course, it's mixed.
Is this still a description of your relationship?
I think that's a core aspect of that's the biggest battle, I think, in a greater war.
Jamie, you guys were LARPers, right? So I mean, you would dress up and go to the park and fight giant battles.
Yes, if that's what LARPing is, I'm big.
Live action role playing. It's when you dress up like a knight and go fight somebody with a sword.
Anytime someone says LARP, I always forget what it means, but then I think it's a traditional Thai cuisine. Larb.
Yeah. Yum.
And it's a very specific kind of texture, and I think I had some food poisoning.
Don't get distracted. What happened with the battle you were in?
The battle's still going.
Get distracted.
Okay. I know that you want, and I respect your boundaries, and I know you.
But
right, but what is?
He's not starting trouble, and not starting trouble.
Right. You could just tell me to go kick rocks. Why is it taking so long?
Yes.
Why is it taking so long to
decide which direction is going?
Why it
the winding down process.
Right.
I mean, the biggest thing I think is my greatest battle of people pleasing, not wanting to hurt other people, and knowing in my heart where I'm at, but not, always that.
Gotcha.
And having a real love for someone doesn't make it easier. Like, and that's been a big thing. And then other than that, I watched Black Panther on New Year's Eve with my nephews and niece and sister and brother-in-law, and then spent yesterday with my parents. And what did we watch? I forgot what we watched. But we had El Pollo Loco. And then maybe it shouldn't be a party shot, but I want to give a shout out to MF Doom. I don't know if these are any of your radars. I figure like Sean, no, maybe.
Yes.
MF Doom.
Me too.
I did not know he was on your radar. I mean, I don't know whose radar he's on, but he's on somebody's radar.
He's on a lot of people's radars. It's not like it's actually surprising to me to see how many people I know.
I will be honest, he was not on my radar, but then it felt like every single person I know, he was their favorite artist. And I was like, how was he not on my radar? Like, I feel like I missed out.
I started making a playlist and stuff, but like, it's hard. Part of what I love about, as I'm kind of reflecting on, like, it really is a huge loss as an artist, but his story, he was in a group called KMD that had some mild success. They were kind of up and coming, but then one of his rapping partners was shot and killed. And then there's no word from him for years. And then it was my last year of college, or when I was deep in that world. And this album comes out by a guy named MF Doom. MF Doom is called MF Metal Face because he started wearing a metal face.
and he had completely changed his style. Everything, he kind of reinvented himself and came out and was one of the most prolific rappers, producers of the last 20 years. But this idea of reinventing himself, like, really just is striking a chord of like, because I think I need to start wearing a cape and live like the idea of enchantment. And like, as far as rapping goes, like, there's not usually a lot of enchantment in that world, but this was a guy that was like, I'm going to be a fucking comic book superhero or super villain, really, and built his entire career and mythos and not mythos.
That was one of the Four Musketeers, correct?
Okay, yeah, that's definitely what I'm referring to. I don't know, but like, and in
Porthos,
typical
Athos, Mythos, and D'Artagnan.
The fact that he also died on Halloween.
And Portos. I think Portos.
Portos is a sub sandwich shop in Burbank, I think.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Jamie, by the way, I'm just loving that it feels like you're this close to starting the new year wearing a mask, singing falsetto, and did you mention a cape too? Like, I'm just imagining you. I mean, you know,
do it.
You're going to go for, you're transforming yourself.
Well, I do. Yeah, obviously,
I mean,
Barry Gibb.
This is the next falsetto.
It's Barry Gibb. It's just, you know, another in a line of thematic things of just like where I really do feel like I'm trying to find my falsetto and come out a little bit. And
oh, wait, really quick for the record, y'all. He was playing the Bee Gees in the theater when we got it there.
That's right. Oh, it was fresh. I mean, it was literally like less than an hour after our recording. It was very fresh. And sounded so good
that
on
you
those.
didn't walk into the theater and go, I thought you were going to be playing the Bee Gees, and Jamie would just go, what are you talking about?
What?
I don't know who that is. What documentary?
Band from the 70s?
No,
so go ahead, Jamie, you're going to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, it sounds like you're very attracted to stories of later in life changes that spark success.
Well, and just finding your voice. I mean, I didn't bring that up for that per se, other than just like it truly is like a real loss. But I think it just the fact that in this day and age that someone could die on fucking Halloween and it's just kept under wraps for 2 months. It's like, if anyone is so fits his kind of lore that would happen. Anyway, it was.
But part of me also thinks that that's not true. You know,
that he's not dead.
No, that he's dead, but he didn't die on Halloween. He died recently, and it was a cooler story to say he died on Halloween. Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's stuff going on that we're not privy to there.
That's very possible. It's very possible.
Sean, are you saying that was their version of I know a Dolly guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's dead. He died on Halloween.
We could probably make the trades if we want to boldly declare that like we're conspiracy deniers.
Oh, no.
There's some sort of
Jamie,
cover.
I think you should just start making videos of you wearing a mask and singing in falsetto, and then you should make videos explaining why you're doing that. I think you should just take a jump, take a leap.
I'm ready to take the leap. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, that is the crux of the whole thing is when do you start doing things? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But there's a certain point where you have to actually stop planning and start doing things, or else you're just always going to be in the state of like, I should be
someday
conducting an orchestra. You know,
absolutely that. It really is.
And the thing about doing stuff is if it doesn't go right, you could still reinvent yourself. The thing about reinventing is it's taking what you already invented and then doing that again in a different way. So making a start on something doesn't mean that you have to stick to that plan forever.
Very true.
Wow.
You know, tomorrow you wear a cape, the next day you wear a bib. Who knows where it goes?
You just turn it around.
Yeah.
That's the easiest reinvention. That's a smart way to sell reinvention. Worst case scenario, you got a bib. A big bib.
And by the and Jamie isn't wearing a mask on any of those days. Jamie, try wearing a mask. Transform yourself into a mask-wearing person.
No. More of a smock, yeah.
So do you have any specific plan, Jamie, or is it just like, I think I might want to be a supervillain?
I do have plans that are coming together.
Mm-hmm.
It's this last 2 weeks has kind of played out almost exactly as I expected. This happens, I feel like the last 2 or 3 years, but I'm have this last 2 weeks of the year where Dynasty is slowing down, the world's slowing down, and I have this dream that I'm going to take these 2 weeks to really just write every day and do all the things and just get in my zone, not have any pressure on me. And it is what it is, but I think breakup stuff has been the biggest thing where it's just like, it's been hard to get like a 24-hour period where I'm not responding to an email or a text, or there's still other things going on. And I don't know, it's part of I think growth is understanding that there's never going to be that perfect day. But it would be nice just to have a couple of days where there's not some sort of. Can
I plug a falsetto thing for you?
Yes.
That you write a song that you sing in falsetto, and the song is called "There's Never Going to Be a Perfect Day."
Wow.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
What if this sets everything off?
And
Jamie, Sean's suggestion on the podcast, I almost just flaked out on.
Didn't come to.
Well, I'm writing it down.
Beautiful.
Thank God my dishes alarm went off and I showed up for the podcast.
Negative into positives.
Falsetto.
There's never going to be a perfect day.
There's never going to be.
That's really sad.
I know.
But that's not the point. The point is today is the day to do the thing.
Because another way of looking at it is it's always the perfect day.
Right.
Exactly.
There's your fucking chorus right there.
Right.
That's me and Sean being a regular old yin yang sign.
This day, Jamie.
Just call us Rogers and Hammerstein.
Jamie, but this day is good enough. You know what I'm saying? That's
the bridge, or
you know what I mean? No, well, it's like the idea of like
it's fine.
But this day, because that's what we're getting at. This very day, it's good enough to start. It's good enough to do it. It's good enough to blank.
You guys remember this podcast was built on there was songs on every episode.
Oh right.
I can't even imagine a version of myself then who would be with Eddie and Sean, especially at that point in our relationship, to be like, that I would have the chutzpah to several. There's weird ass songs that'll come up in my iTunes every once in a while. I'm like, oh, right. And then I got them to do that. It's
what other song? The only one I remember is Dog Shoes.
There was a song about a party. It was called Long Shot Dance Party. There's a song about hiking, featuring Mark Maron and all of us hiking. That's weird. There
might be a full EP here. There might be an album here. By the way, I want to throw out that Sean came up. Jamie, you weren't at this recording, but Sean came up with a beautiful song called "One Smile, One Laugh" a couple weeks ago. I want to throw in "One Smile, One Laugh" because that I thought was beautiful too.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
An even more sad sentiment.
What is the
it was just if you could smile once or laugh once throughout the day, you're doing okay.
Oh boy.
Once
if it gets dark.
The album for the show is darker than the show.
This is
people buy the album to cry.
The saddest. Jamie, this is a few ideas ago. But I want to address the thing about every year around the holidays, you think you're going to be very productive. I think that, and I think you know this, but
I feel like Amber's about to go all in on Jamie. Go for it, Amber.
No, but you need to let that go. I feel like the holidays are a time that it's not a productive time, and that's just the way it is. And it's like almost a cycle that we all have to go in, because you can fight it, or you could just realize, like, hey, that said, I did move during the holidays, not to brag.
So
Very productive.
So you're saying the day after the holidays, I should start my new novel and finish it by the next holiday?
No, I'm not saying don't try to be productive, but I wouldn't put so much pressure on yourself for the 2 weeks that everything kind of hibernates to be the one person not hibernating.
Well, the idea of productive too is
your mic's fucked up again.
Like the Fonz.
Better? Did it get better or worse?
It's the same.
You know what, Jamie? It might be that the connection is a little loose or something, because it has come in and out. So without, I think, you even touching it.
Better.
So loud.
Yes.
So loud. Better.
Yeah, we always.
That was good.
Better.
Just
worse.
Just leave it. I'm sorry I brought it up. Sorry I brought it up.
Best.
That's pretty good.
Oh my God.
By the way, today really sucks.
Just one smile, one laugh.
So go ahead, Jamie. What were you going to say?
I'm already starting to, like, Monday. It's like
Back to work in a sense.
Sounds great right now.
Yeah, something just happened.
The voice sounds good.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
I don't want to jinx
So
it,
good.
but wow.
Okay.
Don't touch anything or move for the rest of the time we're recording. Go ahead.
I think as soon as I start to feel the weight or the pressure of other people, I'm like, it's trying to just I need to carve out, and that's one of my goals for 2021, is to really be able to carve out daily and weekly and monthly those times where I can just, connect with myself and not feel all the pressure from all the people. Because that's why I'm always looking for that weekend and that perfect 2 days and that perfect 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Right.
Because I'm like, all I need is 48 hours of just to myself to figure it all out. But then inevitably, it takes me 24 hours to get to the point where I can start to get any momentum.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Rob a bank.
Rob a bank, get caught, go to jail. You'll have nothing to do for as long as you stay there. You can totally commune with yourself. I will say anytime I watch any sort of prison thing, not any prison, but I guess some of them, I'm like, that actually doesn't, I wouldn't have to do anything. I mean, there's lots of drawbacks, certainly.
No, I think a lot of people feel that way. That's why they love going to prison. It's like a great place to...
Imagine if your life is, it's so bad. Jamie, the falsetto, I think it's time for the falsetto bandit. The bank robber who sings all his commands in falsetto.
I just listening to your explanation, Jamie, I do think that one thing that might help you is being more in the moment, as opposed to everything being a grand scheme that has a payoff in days, weeks, months, and years. You know what I mean? Like, just looking at what's in front of you instead of looking at the entire road and what's coming after your next destination.
I fully agree. That's been one of many revelations over the last few years, but I was like, if I just 2 hours of a day, even 1 hour a day, if 1 hour a day was spent actually just working on a thing, I would be so much just more fulfilled and just be working towards things. Oh,
Jamie, I'm just gonna add to what Sean said, because I think, all of this is great advice, but I think sometimes, and it's specific stuff, which is good, but if you take that step back and look at it, I think in general, and this is like more therapy stuff that you can talk to someone about, but it's that.
What about my therapist?
Are you still going? Are you still seeing someone?
I am.
Great. I think it's just, Jamie, it's that general feeling of of feeling like you don't have enough control over your life.
For sure.
you know, that you're in control. Because when I was hearing you talk about how the pressure of other people, that just makes me think very much that it's so easy to see the external controlling, all those external variables controlling you, and that you feel like you're not enough in control, steering wherever you truly want to go. And I think that's the mindset that you have to kind of, you know, while you do all these specific things like being organized and giving yourself time, but that your general mindset is that you are in control of your life, you know, that you make yourself that person.
Boundaries is
saying
huge.
Saying no to people.
Right.
Like
and
saying
they
no to people.
will love you and care about you. And they will understand that, like, I am not able to do this because I have to take care of this. Like, it's okay.
For sure. The hardest part I'm dealing with right now is control. Like, on the one hand, like, all right, just do what's in front of me. Like what like Sean said, like be in the moment, day to day. But they're now running a company. I'm like, there's literally are people like
dependent on.
How do I balance? I do have to have like a year plan, or like I do have to have like just an overall, you know, like plan of action for these other people to get stuff done as part of it. Like, so balancing that with also not feeling of the pressure, it's like, it's just a unique new realm. Anyway, MF Doom, rest
Jamie,
in peace.
I think real quick, I was going to say, I think what can help with that. I was going to say, I think what can help with that, Jamie, is if you try. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Unstable connection. I'm only as stable as my connection. Jamie, if it helps, because you're 3 years in, I need a chime. If you're 3 years into this, I think you need to understand that you can go back to whatever made you want to do this in the first place, because we've talked about this. You are the boss now. And that does give you a lot of control, but it gives you also a lot of responsibility. And I think if you start to think about the job with the kind of enthusiasm of putting on shows, you like to create energy, Immaculata, Encantada, you know, Chimichanga, whatever it is that you do.
It's fun to give inspiring advice while also sort of like undermining
whatever your fucking bullshit is.
Wait, do you believe in me or not?
No, I do.
Encantada, Immaculata, Chimichanga, Bale, hi.
I do believe in you, Jamie. I do believe in you.
I know you do.
I was just saying, Jamie, find the enthusiasm.
Oh no!
That
what
got
happened?
You to this place already, and
find the enthusiasm. What?
Rediscover that. Oh, did I?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Here's the most important thing. You need to remember this. That.
Oh fuck! I almost.
Go ahead, Joe.
Jamie, rediscover that passion, Jamie. Make it less about all the business stuff you have to do, and rediscover and reframe it in that way for you, where you feel like you're doing exactly what you wanted to do. You wanted to make this a reality, and use that in this year. It's not about the figuring it all out and making people happy. It's about doing what you told yourself you were going to do, and put on a theater and put on shows and make a great place for comedy, you know?
Not to mention, you said you were going to.
Oh, fuck. I think that's all true, and I really am thankful to be reminded. Like I said, I feel like it's memento, like where over the last 2 weeks there's been those moments, and sometimes an hour here where I'm and I'm watching this thing or hearing this thing, or I'm reminded, even being with Amber and Jeff last week, every time I'm in the space I'm like, holy shit, this is right here. But then it's like I have to wake up the next morning, and and these notes are my tattoos of just like I have to relearn it every day all over again. And it's Groundhog Day.
Right.
So trying to get out of that is the main goal. Anyway, rest in peace, MF Doom. Follow your dreams.
Reinvent yourself.
Reinvent yourself.
And die on Halloween.
Wear a mask.
Allegedly.
He was wearing a mask. I didn't think about an innovator in that way.
Well, So is the Lone Ranger.
True.
Joe, checking in. What's going on?
Oh, we're not doing. This is a good place to stop. We're going.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, we're moving on. All right. Well, I'm checking in with. I successfully ordered a Colombian tamal for New Year's Eve dinner, Zoom dinner with my family. I have pictures. I'll save those for my parting shots. But
yeah, spread this one out.
No, I'm just saving it. I'm saving the pictures. Look, and it's this time, Sean. It's a nice picture. It's not a gross picture. I'm not going to try to make anyone's stomach churn. It's a nice picture.
I love the build-up. I love that we're getting a tease.
It was. It's just a tease, but so you see what the actual food item I was talking about, but I ordered it.
Margaret, should we turn the podcast off? No, Al, he's going to show a picture of a piece of food later. Oh, I love when Joe shows foods. Sometimes the pictures he shows are disgusting, but when he shows the foods, it's good.
I'm still having nightmares about that hairball.
All right.
I did a better job of planning. I called the day before. I got it delivered. I did. There was one thing though where I got it through Postmates, and they start sending you all these like survey questions, kind of like what I was saying. Jamie was doing it. It's like, how was the order? How
is the screen big enough
on time? All these questions.
What did Jeff think
about the actual?
What would you like to order?
The service, and was the order correct and everything, and I was so excited and so happy that I got it that I answered positively to everything. I was like, it was excellent, order was correct, blah 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 blah, and then I checked the order and they forgot two things.
Yeah.
So now I'm not sure, how do I do that through Postmates? Do I do that through the restaurant if I order through them again? It wasn't a big deal to me, but of course my aunt was like, you have to call the restaurant and tell them, maybe they will throw some in,
What did they forget?
Yeah, what did they forget?
They forgot 2 Colombian breads. One is called pan de bono, which is made with cheese. It's like a cheese bread.
Yeah.
Delicious. And the other one is called buñuelos.
Margaret, talking about the pan de bono again.
Are there pictures? No, not yet.
It's Colombian culture time. Colombian.
Pan de bono.
Pan de bono. Bono's favorite Colombian bread, pan de bono. And so it wasn't entirely perfect, Jamie. You know what? It wasn't a perfect day, I'll tell you that.
Did you smile?
But I got
Once?
I did smile. When you guys see the smiles of my family seeing this tamal, it's gonna be like when Amber sees Aaron's emoji for each episode.
That's one smile right there.
They're doing a crazy thing, Margaret. They're teasing the shit out of parting shots. And if it doesn't pay off, this is going to be a disaster. But I feel like they're in a good area. It makes me want to listen more.
Was it good, or are we going to save that?
No pressure. No pressure.
Did it taste good?
No. It was good. Well, it's so funny you say that because I thought it wasn't great. Like, I think because we've made some before in the holidays, homemade, I think I have that standard of the homemade.
You probably want that exact food and that exact taste. So it might have even been okay. It just wasn't
very specific.
Food. Yeah.
Especially it's a memory. So I was telling them, they were like, how is it? How is it? And I was like, I was trying to describe in Spanish. I was like, the taste is fine, but it's not quite the same. And I said, it's not at home. And I was trying to explain that. And
pero no es muy bueno.
I try to elevate a little bit above that, where I was like, es que no tiene it doesn't have the same. I said picante because I was trying to think of spice. It's not quite the same spiced flavor. And so then that became 5 minutes of my aunt going, sí, yeah, mejor no picante, like better not spicy. And I was like, no, it's
flavor.
not spicy, spices. Spices.
No, hace mucho calor. ¿Sí? Hace frío.
Wait.
Muy mal.
And then
muy mal.
Wait, where are you going?
And then literally then
his laptop.
I just remembered this.
Oh no.
So it was so hard to get to say to them, to explain to them that I wasn't saying spicy, I was saying spices, that I ended up writing it on a notepad, spicy, and then spices.
What is spices?
I don't know, Margaret. I want them to go back to just the audio version because I find the visual version. It's like they have some kind of quiz show going on. I don't know what's happening.
Is picante with a QU normal spelling?
Oh no, I think it's with a C. It's with a C. Well, I mean, in Spanish, I think it's with a C. So anyway, but the meal went great. It was lovely to see them again, and then, did you guys have that weird? I really felt it this year, and I think a lot of people did, where once you saw the East Coast midnight celebration, then it felt like everyone in LA was just like, oh, these fucking last 3 hours. You know, it was like we all, waiting for our fucking turn finally to get rid of this stupid fucking.
It was
year.
the longest,
it was just like
ever. And it was so sad. Those shots of like
those guys,
or just the people. There's like groups of like 2 people in a box, and there's like there's cleaning up. There's like nobody out. It's really weird.
What are you talking about? 2 people in a box cleaning up. What were you watching?
It was an old Star Trek. Very weird episode. Different.
Look,
Times Square, right?
Yeah. By the way, so if you guys watched any of that, I gotta say, I just wanted to say for the record, like, it was disgustingly sponsored. Like,
oh, the Kia countdown.
The fucking.
That was what I was saying. I was like,
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness.
Yeah, Planet. It was Planet Fitness all through the fucking thing, and then you're watching the freaking ball drop, and it turned into a car ad. And
it was Kia.
Like, I felt like all through the country, people were just like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Like, it ruined that New Year's second.
Like, literally, during the 10-second countdown, there's a Kia truck just like driving through. It's so weird.
We all remembered both those brand names, so they fucking did their job.
I'm not going to say their name. It just was like that final mindfuck where it's like people literally are struggling to buy bread.
Can't we just
and the
see
thing
the
you see says buy a car, buy a fucking car, and people don't have fruit.
I noticed that they're doing this.
I don't mean to get ahead of myself, but I do know what I'm doing with my stimulus.
Buy a $600 Kia.
Yeah.
Sean walks onto the Kia lot waving 600.
I didn't even watch any of that shit.
It was. I didn't either.
The worst was my sister. They kept flipping. They were flipping around all the channels, but like there was a Vegas, like New Year's Eve Vegas, which was just like the kind of the trashiest version of it.
Jamie, do you want to watch New Year's Eve Vegas? No. Call me when there's 2 guys in a box cleaning up.
Yes. Until then, I'll be in the bathroom. My mom, I went over there yesterday, and she's like, "You got to watch Anderson Cooper and the guy from Bravo, like them hosting."
Andy Cohen, respect Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen.
And I was like, "There's no way it's gonna be worth rewatching from the night before." It's like, and sure enough, though, it's like they're getting kind of drunk, and it was like, I'm sorry that we didn't watch that on New Year's Eve because they were really funny, and they were talking to Snoop Dogg, and I'm putting too much energy into it. It was fine.
Jamie,
it wasn't like
Jamie,
great. I don't know why I'm
Jamie.
still talking about it. Sorry.
You're fine.
Jamie, the Las Vegas one, that broadcast was KTLA in Los Angeles. Did you hear? And somebody was able to clip the moment.
Brandy Posey.
You can literally hear someone snort a line of cocaine. Brandy Posey tweeted about it, and then I saw the video. You can hear someone off camera snort. It's clearly a snort, and then they go, "Woo!" And then
They're like, welcome back
to speak, but it was a hot mic. Yeah, it was like perfect for this year.
Well, if you saw the guy hosting it,
drugs just to get through anything.
My research was like, who the fuck is this guy? The spiky hair. He looks like kind of like just the ultimate, kind of like Sunset Strip kind of guy, but like it's just singing songs with all these people. And I was like, who? And I guess he goes by Wowie Zowie, or no, Zowie Bowie. But then
talking about Wowie Wowie.
So David Bowie has a son who's a filmmaker, but it's not him who also goes by that.
You're thinking of Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
It's Bowie Zooey, Bowie Zowie, Bowie Zooey.
Anyway, he's a big hit, number one entertainment on the strip kind of guy, but very, very hard to watch. Nowhere near an Anderson Cooper Bravo guy.
Broadcasters on New Year's Eve telecasts, they are ridiculous. I saw a guy in one of the Times Square streams. He was talking. You know when people are talking in that broadcaster way that is so unnatural. Like he was yelling at someone that was like 3 feet away, and everything he's saying is just the most mundane. Like, this is going to be an exciting time. Like
what if that's his natural speaking voice?
It's just, what is wrong with you? Yeah, right. That was ridiculous. I kept kind of trying to just find a stream just to see where the time was, but I just thought it was like the perfect cap.
I like how Joe described
year of like
he as finding a stream. Like I've never heard that before.
He's a trout looking.
You know why?
He's a bear. Yeah. I just got to find a stream. I got to find a stream here so I could see the New Year's.
Guys, I'm not up on the Google Chimes, but I can find a stream.
So what else, Joe? You had a food?
Aaron, our producer.
You watched New Year's. You found a stream.
I ordered correctly. Found the stream, and I forgot to mention this last week. It's just something that's never happened to me. I thought I'd share it with the listeners. The day on Christmas Eve, I was going to send my mother a photo of the nativity scene that I had made, and so I selected text. And I go to my photo roll.
Yeah, no. You selected text, right?
I go. I'm just breaking it down. Go to my photo roll.
You go to the photo roll.
I go to my 476. Won't tell you the last one. And so then I went to select the photo, but my finger slipped.
Oh no.
And the roll starts going, and I go, oh, no, I have to stop it. And when I went to stop it, a dick pic was selected.
Joe,
and
please, God, no, Joe.
And entered the message box. And I immediately froze. It was like a freaking, like
where is this going?
A bomb. It was like diffusing a bomb, and I see the little X in the corner to delete the photo before sending it, but it was right at that stage.
I know that.
And so very carefully, I never moved my finger so slowly. I hit the X, deleted it, and then I just sat there for 5 minutes thinking about how I could have ruined Christmas. Yeah,
this is what happens. This is what happens when 99% of your photo roll is dick pics. You know, of course you select a dick pic. That's why I keep
You're
mine
absolutely right,
below
Sean, and
10% in my photo roll.
I'm below 5 now.
Sean has an alarm for that.
Mhm. So you didn't send
So thankfully Christmas was not ruined. It did not go out. Thank
And
goodness.
whose
There
dick
you
was
go.
it a pic of?
Great question.
That's a good question.
Uh-huh.
I have so many questions, but I'm also
it was
so
in a ro-
scared. I don't
I think
know.
you need
was in
to
a
follow.
I think you should plunge ahead.
Me too.
It was an erotic photograph. Go ahead,
What
Amber.
do you do with these pictures?
Besides, take them.
If the person has expressed some interest,
Who's the person?
if there's
His mother, unfortunately.
obviously if there's hashtag sex positive, thank you, Aaron, producer. If there is obviously consent and there's a wish and desire to see it, then it is there ready to be shared.
So it's just
So you believe in having the dick pic ahead of time just in case, rather than being in the moment and going, "Oh, you want that? I can do that."
I guess if you got a good shot, you might as well.
Yeah.
Thank you,
right,
Jamie.
the right
It's all
lighting
about
must be difficult too. Yeah.
it's all about the ones I've kept are the ones that are in my they're in my gallery. I feel
Do you
proud of
have-
those. I like them.
Joe, do you have an album?
Yes.
You have an
That'd be
album
a funny-
that's called Dick Pics?
Like,
No.
No, the album is actually
Amber,
called
the-
Smiley Faces.
One
Wink,
smile,
wink.
one laugh.
Yeah.
can you post your
Smile,
top 9 of 2020?
One smile, one laugh, one dick. Here it comes. Amber, here's the reason why I don't even know how to make a separate album.
Oh, Joe, I
from
will
my
help
phone.
you.
So,
But
no, they're just
it's very easy.
I will help you, but not with this.
only if Jeff says it's okay.
No,
There's a plus sign.
yeah, it
New
says
album.
add album, and then makes life so easy.
Thank you, Amber. I will. You know what? I'm going to do that. That's. I'll end with this. My New Year's resolution is to make an album of dick pics on my phone. Thank you.
It should be.
Shoot for the
Opposite.
stars.
I'm done.
Keep your feet on the ground, but keep reaching for the stars.
You know what? I'm totally going to reinvent myself. Here we go.
All right. Well, why don't we take a break and then we will come back and we will, I guess, maybe see some photos.
Can't wait.
Woo!
Hey, folks, it's Sean. We're taking a little break on the show, which means that right now, Jamie and Joe and Amber and myself are scurrying around our apartments, taking care of the various things that come up during the course of the taping of an episode. And while we're doing that, maybe you could take a moment, and I guess my plug this week is try following Amber Kenny on Twitter. Her Twitter handle is @Amber_Kenny. And it's always a treat when Amber has something to say on Twitter. She often has valuable insights into the world. So give her a follow. And now, back to our show. We are back. You are listening to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. It is time for a segment on the show that we like to call Parting Shots. So I feel like there's nowhere else to start today but with Joe, because we already know where this is going to go. So let's see.
Okay.
And just make sure you load up the correct picture, Joe.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine?
Ugh. I mean, I can. I don't want to. But I have a vivid imagination.
No, yes, absolutely. I want to make up for last week. Wait, I'm not doing this right.
So you said you were going to do this, but then you didn't.
Last time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. I'm doing it like.
There it is. Yeah, that looks delicious.
Denny's.
Yum.
Okay.
You know you can organize all those photos. Or like you can just arrange them so they're not. That would just drive me crazy.
Whoa.
So there you go.
Filling?
The filling is
now. Which part of this is your balls?
Okay, all right. Would you believe I found this under a credenza when I was sweeping? It's Amber. Inside is chicken,
Yum.
pork,
Whoa.
bacon, carrots, and sometimes they put in an egg.
But what was in this
hard-boiled
one?
egg? So this did not have the egg and did not have.
It looks very
Sometimes
eggy.
there's a lottery ticket inside.
Yeah, it looks like an omelet.
It is. It's just a big. It's a big pillow. It's like it's
we're
like
going to
a.
another picture.
What is going on?
And then
now?
and then. Okay, sorry. And then this is how excited they
so
were.
Happy. That's so cute.
That's
They're
really
so
cool.
happy. So it was just it just felt like a win when you need one, and that's what I wanted to share with everybody. That's my party.
Sí, no hay picante.
Picante.
I just wish everyone a happy, safe New Year. Hang in there, and thanks for continuing to listen to the show, rate and review. It's been I'm speaking for myself, but I think we all feel like it's just been great to start up the show again, and it's really helped. It's really helped during this time. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hot room. Thank you. Hot room.
That's exactly.
So
that's
there
the
you
energy.
go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm drinking. My beverage for today is a Venom.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'll go next. Here's my parting shot. I agree with what Joe is saying because I feel like these conversations, I don't think I've spoken with anybody since before New Year's Eve at this point. Like I've texted with lots of people, but I have not had a literal conversation with anyone. So this is like a lifeline to the outside world. Like even today, I was like, I want to go get food. I want to go to the drugstore because I need aspirin basically. And I just didn't want to leave my house. You know, I was like, this feels like now is not the time to do those things. So anyway, yes, I agree. Now on New Year's Eve, you guys were talking about the East Coast. So I was up in the neighborhood walking around after my workout, and right at 9:00 Pacific time. So I got all these texts from people on the East Coast about, Happy New Year, blah, 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 and all this stuff.
About,
all this bullshit. and
these deluded assholes.
Yeah. But what really struck me was that there were parties going on up there.
No.
I thought they were searching for them. Yeah.
And then I saw this thing, which I'm sure you guys have seen on the I don't know, it was on one of the streams, and it said that there was people.
Did you catch the stream? Or
I caught the stream I caught the Twitter stream, and there was mid-Twitter stream, there was something called the Drip Club, which is like a group of influencers who had 600 people at their house for their fucking New Year's Eve party.
What?
And I don't know, man. I don't have high hopes for humanity's future, It does not. But anyway, here's what I was going to say is I came back from that walk and I came into my apartment and I went on my desktop. Joe, can you just show everybody what a desktop looks like again? So we all have no. And I went on my desktop and I have no. We all know. It's like a photo of something that you have never seen. Basically, is everybody's desktop. I went on my desktop and I had a document there that I started right at this time last year, in which I kept every email, every tweet, every Facebook message from people who either had listened to my podcast or had read my life letter and had something nice to say about it. I did not keep the ones of people who were like, fuck you, how dare you.
People did that?
I mean, probably, but
how dare you try to be happier?
This is bullshit.
So I had this Word document. I had somebody suggest to me last year.
To reinvent yourself?
Somebody had suggested to me last year that, oh, that's nice that people are doing that. So why don't you keep those? And I literally looked back at them on New Year's Eve, and it was so good to see positive reinforcement or
feedback,
not reinforcement, but enforcement. Positive enforcement.
Be positive.
Yeah. It really made a big difference to me that night as far as
awesome.
How I felt going into 2021. And we'll see if that lasts, but probably not. But anyway, I would recommend, we always talk about gratitude.
We were doing good, and then
I know.
We always talk about gratitude and all those kind of things, and this was something that it's not exactly the same thing, but it definitely had a positive effect ultimately. So, highly recommend doing something in the way of reminding yourself at the end of the year that things have, what has gone well.
Meaning. that things have meaning.
Right. Yeah, because it is, it does feel right now like, what is the fucking point of any of this shit? I mean, I wrote a pilot during all this, and I feel really good about it, except that no one cares. And I get that. What? There's nothing going on. The stuff that is going on shouldn't be going on. So who ultimately cares?
I think I was going to say, I think the weird thing about trying to be creative right now is that creativity feels like play. Like I'm playing. Here's a thing that's, I don't mean frivolous in a derogatory way, but here's a thing that's kind of like an extra, something fun. And it feels weird to try to think of that when shit's not right. Like we should only play once the chores are done, and the chores are not being done.
I think it's that, but I think it's also that who knows when the fuck this is going to end, Who knows when this is... Sorry, I wasn't looking. Go ahead, Amber.
It sounds like it's never the perfect day.
Correct. Well said. Well said, Hammerstein. I think we've got the title for our next musical. Quick, get the piano player in here and let's write some lyrics. It is never the perfect day, but I guess it's a little bit more existential than that right now, because it's like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen next? I mean, supposedly January is going to be the worst time we've had so far. I looked today. By the end of today, we will be over 350,000 people have died from this thing. 350,000 people. And who knows where we're going to be in a month? Who knows where we're going to be in 6 months? There's all this stuff now about, I mean, not to get everybody down, but there's all this stuff about how they're fucking up the vaccinations and nobody's getting vaccinated, and it's on the states. It's not the federal government. So Florida has basically said, well, I didn't even want to get into that yet, but I was going to say there's new strains popping up, and we don't know if those are going to be affected by the vaccine or going to affect the vaccine. Florida has basically said first come, first serve for the vaccine, which just seems like
chaos.
Yeah, like what?
It's like Mad Max, like people fighting over the water. Like
it reminded me of because I think I've told this story before on this show, but it's like a classic Conroy family story where we had a house guest, an exchange student named Andreas. He was from Germany, and he stayed with us. I don't remember for how long. Maybe it was just a summer. Maybe it was 6 months. I honestly don't remember. Nice guy, but was very unsure of himself. Didn't know what to do, what not to do. Anyway, there's always been a thing in my family where if there's one thing left, I have 4 brothers, there's no food for everybody all the time, So if there's one thing left in the platter, you claim it by saying, does anybody else want the last piece of bread or whatever? That's being polite. That's the polite way of saying, I'm going to take
FYI, this is mine.
And then everybody goes, no, that's fine. You have it. And that's the polite way of saying you spoke for it first. It's just like, those are the fucking rules of the jungle, you know? So it's like a way of still being polite while at the same time claiming your thing. And so we were doing that. We were eating dinner once and Andreas was there and somebody said, does anybody want the last piece of bread? And Andreas said, oh, I will have it. And that was such a huge transgression that has just made us laugh ever since then, that he didn't understand that was just a weird politeness thing.
And to be fair, like, literally, it does sound like you're offering it.
Of course, he was completely right. You know, like he was taking things at face value. He was not. And so what it made me think of was I can remember taking my kids, my students, when I was teaching junior high school on like a 3-day science trip up to North Adams, Massachusetts. I did that several times. Yeah.
That sounds insane.
Yes. It was completely insane, but it was great. They loved it. We had such a good time. It was crazy. But when we would have dinner every night, they would give out food en masse. Like the table would get a tray of
like
fried
family
chicken,
style.
a tray of bread, a pitcher of milk, whatever. And
this
so
is a crazy meal.
I can remember, right?
I'd like a carafe of your finest milk.
11 avocados.
Unlimited milk pitchers.
A turnip.
Yeah, one turnip. But I can remember the first night being like, I will let everybody else take their milk first because it's going to come around. And when it gets to me, there'll be, there's obviously enough for everybody to have a glass of milk, whatever.
Well, and you're the leader and good leaders.
Right. But also
provide first.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not saying I was a good leader, but I'm saying like, I just assumed that we would all be on the same page, that there was a certain amount that was to make it to everyone and we would be okay. And very quickly, I realized that was not the case. Unless you elbow people out of the way and take your shit, somebody else is going to eat yours and it's gone. And I feel like that's what's going to happen to these people in Florida, where it's like every man for himself, first come, first serve. You show up, you get vaccinated. You don't show up, you don't get vaccinated. Good luck. I mean, that's going to be problematic for people.
Yeah. Well, and also it puts the onus on the people. So like there's a large percentage of the population who don't believe in the vaccine or think it's a hoax. And those are the people who are the riskiest. And those are the people who definitely won't go in to get it. And I don't know. It just...
So all of this is by way of saying that it is hard to stay focused on what the next thing is, which is your whole driving force in Hollywood. Is like, when is my next thing coming? What is the next thing? What do I want? How do I get to that next thing? And when you have no idea, it's hard to stay focused on that. So all I'm saying is there is no perfect day, but one laugh, one smile.
You hit your quota, you're done.
Yeah.
I think the key for me right now, because I'm trying to work on something, I'm trying to finish something. I think the key is to reframe your goal, because I think you're right, Sean. Right now, the Hollywood dream has never felt more like a pipe dream. But if I can tell myself that the goal is to finish a script and to be proud of what I did, then that I can manage, then that's something that's still within my control. I mean, this is what we're saying, Jamie. It's like whatever is still within our control. And I think right now, it just feels like so much is out of our control. We're being gaslit. You're seeing these crazy videos of people that don't give a fuck at all. And it makes you start to go crazy. But if I can remind everyone, you're doing the right thing. You're not crazy. Hang in there. Keep doing the right thing, and just be. It can be of little solace, but it can be enough of a comfort that you're not making it worse.
Right. Well, and who knows where we'll be, because now we have 13 senators who are going to claim that Biden was not elected properly, and we need to shoot the Constitution in the face and redo
it's really
everything.
insulting. It's really insulting.
But anyway, parting shots, Jamie Flam.
Well, you just remind me it's the literal what you just described. But on New Year's Eve, I was over at my sister's, and they ordered sushi. And these kids, and they're 12 and I think 10 and 6 now. But there's a lot of sushi. If you saw the way these kids, I mean, my niece, like, she had more sushi on her, because I was trying to play like, let's let everyone kind of get their thing, and then I'll kind of, but it was like very quickly like, this is every man for himself. But just the visual of my 6-year-old niece with 20 pieces of sushi on her plate. And I had to actually, I was like, Maisie, I think as I'm looking at like a bunch of there's none left. Maybe put a couple of the rainbow roll back. And then when my sister saw it, she was like, Maisie, that is crazy. But she's like this tiny little girl. It was just like, there's no way she would have eaten it. But anyway, it was like, yeah, that literally just happened.
Jamie, did you get any milk? Was there any milk left with the sushi?
No milk. Not a lick. The other thing it reminded me of was there is this idea of like in families, and there's a certain decorum. But we were driving my sister up. She went to college for 2 years in Sonoma, up past the Bay Area, and we drove up there with my family. And my friend Yasser came along. Yasser was one of my best friends forever.
Was this Yasser Arafat?
It was yes, it was Arafat. And fuck.
Is he a Dolly guy?
He was my Dolly guy. There's a lot of ways I could have run with it. Thank you, team.
He was yes, it was him. It was him.
It was him. That's yes, ending, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Jamie, you're yes ending. You're yes ending.
What a great way to start the year. But we stopped, I think it was at Pea Soup Anderson's or one of those places.
You gotta stop at Pea Soup Anderson's.
And it was lunch, and so we all had lunch. We all had pea soup or whatever it was. And then the waitress comes back and she's like, "Hey, any dessert for anybody?" And the Flams, we love dessert in general. But it was like that, so audacious for Yasser to be like, "Yeah, I'd love some dessert at lunch." Like I just remember all of our family, like, and my parents were like, I guess our guests can have dessert. But I just remember we were all like, "This is so crossing a line."
What are you going to do? Argue with the leader of the PLO?
That's true. Anyway, I haven't thought about that in a long time, but
yeah, it is funny when you know what the traditions and the rules are that are unspoken, right. But then somebody from the outside violates them, and you're like, "What just happened?" Yasser, how could you ask for dessert?
Pie?
Okay. My family,
Amber's growing up.
Especially when we have like Chinese food or Thai food, we order family style. So you just order a bunch of dishes and then everybody takes them. This isn't novel, but apparently Jeff's family,
like a family does.
Yes, but Jeff's family does not do that. And we went for Chinese food once. And everyone was like picking out their one thing. And I was like, well, we should all order something different. And that way we could have it all. And everyone was like, okay. Like, and we did it, but no one was happy about it. And I was like, we didn't have to. I just thought that.
I think that's crazy to not do that, by the way. For Chinese, there's
also like I don't want an entire plate of like broccoli and beef.
I guess I'll have something else besides beef and broccoli.
Yeah, the Chinese,
that's
it's crazy to not share.
That's what's so strange. That's what's so strange about when you introduce what seems like a sensible social construct, and everybody looks at you like
you're insane.
The crazy one. I mean, right? But we are saying take whatever you can from other people, right? Is that what we're leaving with? Like,
cut to the front of the line, move everybody out of the way.
Right. Okay, I think that's a good message for the year.
What else, Jamie?
My final thing reminded me, like, as we're starting this year, as I'm reflecting, it's like when we go through these phases, I can only speak for myself.
Hello.
Always on this roller coaster, always coming out and in and out. And like, especially where I'm at right now, I'm like, oh my God, really what this last year has been, what this last couple months, I really do feel, to get all hippie-ish, but like that there's something, like in spite of feeling that I haven't been as present in my life as I want to be, in spite of all that, there's still something that made sure that the major things got done. There's still something inside that made sure that I was working towards a goal, that I was getting closer to wherever I'm going. Like, I just think that's enchantment or whatever you want to call it. But like, so as bad as things are getting, as much as we're struggling with anything, just remember there's something making us getting us to where we need to go and what we need to learn, the best, how to evolve. And really all the cliches are true, but like I needed this run of shit to get to whatever is coming next. So that's good.
Jamie, I'm glad you did the show.
I am truly glad. And I wanted to say, like, it's like I fight so many things day to day, like, and try to avoid even the things that, it's like the fucking
are good for you,
devil, man. Yeah. So thank you guys. I'm glad I showed up.
I have mixed feelings. Amber, parting shot.
I am going a different direction from everyone else, and
thank fucking God.
And that's normal for me, but I have a recommendation. So I've been big on comfort. I guess I'm talking about sort of the same things that you guys are talking about. I'm just the other end of it, of like how to survive. So I've been big on, blankets and soft clothes and soft lighting, and I found this
textures
music mix on YouTube. It was recommended to me. I have no fucking clue why, but I am obsessed with it, and I think that it might be something that you guys like. The name of this, I had to pull it up because it is so insane. The name of the mix is called Oldies Music Playing in Another Room and It's Raining, with fire crackling and windstorm, 1 hour. It is so good because it's like 1920s music, but like kind of far away, and you could hear rain and you could hear a fireplace, and that's what we've been playing while we were packing, while we were cleaning. There's something just instantly warming about it and comforting, and this dude has a bunch of mixes. Check them out. Who is it?
On Spotify?
No, it's just on YouTube. It's the guy who does them all is called Nemo's Dreamscapes, and all of the different YouTubes have the image that's shown while this mix is playing is a different cartoon character sleeping. And there's Z's animated out of the cartoon character. There's one of Snow White. There's one of Fred Flintstone. There's one.
Oh, I see it now. These look amazing.
It's so good. I cannot recommend it enough.
I can finally stop listening to my mix of oldies playing in the other room while car alarm goes off and someone Pac-Man, which is driving me fucking crazy.
But and it's really funny because there's ones that say like thunderstorm, and there's others that are like no thunderstorm. I guess people complained about the thunderstorm.
The sky is clearing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
we had and we had a real thunderstorm that was scary,
it was intense. Yeah, it was intense. So
of Nemo.
Yeah,
I recommend that mix. I feel like it's like a little bit of a thunder shirt for people, like make you feel safe.
Hi, my name is Nemo Dreamscapes. I'm Nemo's Dreamscapes, and I make Dreamscapes. It's a coincidence that's also my name. It worked out. It's like being named Blacksmith and then you're Blacksmith.
What's the word for that? I feel like Sean would know that.
Dreamscapes.
There's
It's
really a
RuneScaper.
word for like if you do what you do.
You mean if you make flam?
A craftsman.
If I made flam, and then yes, that,
Please don't make
but also flam is
An
not
artisan. Jamie, an artisan. An
No,
artisan.
that's not what he's saying. He's saying a word that means your name is
A,
what
a craftsman?
No, stop this, everyone.
Oh, okay, wait. I think I found it. It's a nominative determinism. No,
Oh,
It's like-
you're talking about why Wetzel's owns the pretzel place?
an aptronym. I think it's an aptronym.
And
Is
it's
Wiener
And
Wiener
Wetzel.
Schnitzel?
What's
Is
happening?
that one?
All right, so Amber, you think we should listen to Nemo's Dreamscapes?
yeah.
Cool. And anything else?
Whatever gets you through.
I have to be. Oh, so I did a gratitude post on Instagram every day of 2019. Was super excited to stop in 2020. Everything went to fucking hell. It's probably my fault. So I started again in 2021.
I think I'm going to do that too.
So sorry about that. My bad.
So do you feel like you are able to do that, or is there some days where you're like, I am working my ass off here?
Well, we're on day 1. So
But you've done
we're
it
on day
before.
2. I have to it's tough. Well, I was very excited to stop doing it. On the whole, it was a positive experience, and it was great to see life framed through gratitude, obviously,
Mhm.
and to be looking for it, because there's always something to appreciate, but it's an exercise that forces you to and to acknowledge it and to take a picture of it and to broadcast it to the world. It heightens your gratitude, I think. But there
Plus-
are days that you're
Plus,
just
the value of consistency is doing
Right.
something when it's not easy.
right.
You know,
Well, and there's
it
days that
only
I
has
was-
Thank
value
you,
when
Vince
do it on the
Lombardi.
days that it's hard.
There were
And now
days
go out there and win one for the good.
that just being really, really busy, it's just like anything, it becomes another chore or like a thing on your list that you have to do. And those were my least favorite days, when it was like I was begrudgingly being thankful. It's sort of defeating the point, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll see. So I'm saying it on this podcast, and I did one post, so I guess I'm
And it's
gonna
on your
do it.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I did my first one was easy. I was thankful for my old apartment. And
Take a screenshot of us right now. Done.
I know. Okay.
Boy, you think pretty highly of yourself there, huh, Jamie?
I make a lot of people's gratitude posts.
Wait, how do I screenshot? Not to be a grandma.
All right.
That's good confidence, Jamie.
we
That's
figure
good
that out.
confidence.
I think it's a good sign.
I think it's time for us to end the show. I think this is it. I think we've reached the end of the road. We've had one laugh. We've had one smile. That's it. That's our show. The
One
long
laugh,
shot.
one smile.
Here,
We'll
I'll
see
just
you
take
guys.
I'm too stupid to figure this out, so I'm taking a picture.
Don't be so hard on yourself. It's 2021. It's just we're in an existential crisis.
We really are.
Yes. Don't forget to tell yourself that we are in an existential crisis.
Peace.
What a strange note to end on. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.